Hello, it's Mike Johnson. Take you on an inside and outside video tour of this 2019 Honda Clarity plug-in hybrid. Super clean car. Very clean car. Only 17,000 original miles. Under warranty from Honda until 150,000 miles. Before you go to any dealership, stop and pay attention. If you do this in the wrong order and you go to the dealership and buy a car for whatever from someone else and think you can refinance it later, it doesn't work that way. At the end of this video, I'm going to explain to you, if you go to the dealership, you make a bad deal and you think you're going to refinance it, you can't refinance your way out of a bad deal, because of 4 factors. When you get financing, they're going to look at your proof of income, debt to income ratio, credit score, and the loan to value ratio of the vehicle you're buying. That means you have to get a good deal on the car first up front. Before you do anything, watch this whole video. I'm going to talk to you about how not to get ripped off. First half of the video is specifically about this car. The rest is how to buy a car without getting ripped off. So, about this car. This is a clean, no accident, 2019 Honda Clarity with super low mileage. Under warranty from Honda. Honda actually did the service on the air conditioning on this one. Under warranty. There's actually a 10-year warranty on some air conditioning issues on these Honda Clarities. Unlimited mileage. This one has 17,000 low original miles. That's all documented on the Carfax history report, which is clean title, clean car. So this is the plug-in hybrid. I'm going to explain more about that. But what you have to understand, to put it in simple terms, it's a hybrid, kind of like a Prius, but it's a plug-in hybrid. You know Toyota Prius, you've heard of those. It has a gasoline engine like all Hondas always have, but it has a plug-in battery that lets you charge it from home. If you go home and charge it every night, you may go months before you have to visit a gas station, but it depends on how much driving you do. My son has one just like this. He goes and exceeds 1,000 miles per gallon on his car. That's the highest it reads. He buys gas once every 3 months or less, because he does most of his driving on electric power like a Tesla. But we drove his car to Arizona and we had to stop for gas several times on that trip, and we didn't have to plug it in on the trip because it's a plug-in hybrid. It's gasoline hybrid and electric vehicle in parallel of each other when you buy this car. So it has the best of the Tesla world and the best of the Honda gasoline powered world. This is the Touring. It's got leather seats. This is top of the line. It's more high-end than like the Accord. So it's got power seats on both front seats. It's got memory, his and hers, programmable settings. So you set the button 1 or button 2, and it remembers how you set your mirrors and your seats. So you just hit button 1 or 2 when you get in, and your seats and mirrors automatically adjust. Like a Cadillac or a Lincoln. Memory programmable seating. Or an Acura. The nicer Acuras. It's got floor mats which are super clean. Seats that are super clean. The back seat folds down. If you drive for Uber or Lyft, this is a good candidate. This seats fold down and you can have cargo in there, suitcases. Unlike other similar size plug-in hybrids like say Ford Fusion Energy, this one has a massive trunk. You pull this and you can fold the seat. Pull this, fold the other seat. Now you've got room for a lot of suitcases back here. You even have a hidden storage compartment. You have a tire pump with a liquid. If you ever get a flat, you don't even have to get out and change a tire. You just hook up the tire pump, plug it in the cigarette lighter, it'll pump up your tire, it'll seal the plug. If it has a leak, you can do an emergency repair without having to take and change a spare tire. Now if you have a giant hole in your tire, that's different, then you got to call a tow truck. But about 60% of new cars don't come with spare tires anymore. This is one of those, no spare tire. Spare tires are big, heavy, and they reduce the trunk space. So you don't have one of those, you have a tire pump. LED headlights. Really cool looking LED headlights. And LED accent lights that turn into turn signals when you... It's a very cool setup. Recapping again. Plug-in hybrid. You got a little button to open the gas door. You got a little button to open the electric door. Later in the video, I'm going to explain about charging vehicles. I'm going to compare a plug-in hybrid to a Tesla. I'm going to explain about that later in the video. But the plug charges right here, and this is a locking plug. So if you're charging, somebody can't come and disconnect you and steal your charging cable because it locks to the car when you lock the doors. Over here you put the gas in, just like the old cars. But if you charge it every night, you may use almost zero gas. You may use some. The advantage of it is you can use some, but you don't have to use a lot. You're not stranded like you would be if you were driving an electric car like, I'm going to name 3. Nissan Leaf, Toyota RAV4 EV, or Fiat 500e. Those EVs are pure EVs. Those only had like 80-mile range on the electric battery when they were brand new. And if you're worried about the battery is under warranty for 10 years or 150,000 miles on the hybrid battery. That's a California law. It doesn't matter if you're the first owner or the 50th owner. It's under warranty until 10 years or 150,000 miles on the hybrid high voltage battery. That's the expensive battery. And it's also under warranty up to 15 years or 150,000 miles on things related to check engine light. If the check engine light comes on, there's a good possibility that anything related to check engine light would be covered under Honda warranty by law. Now, because it's a Honda, the chance of the check engine light coming on is very, very small, unless you're a really negligent owner. The biggest problem I see with owners is they don't take care of their tires. This one, we put brand new tires on it, I believe. All 4. We had to change the tires. You know those little tire warning lights on your dashboard? If you don't rotate your tires every 5,000 to 6,000 miles front to back and keep the proper tire pressure, they'll start wearing funny, and then your nice car, when it was brand new, will feel really weird, like it needs an alignment. Most cars that you feel like they need alignment, they're not the alignment. It's because people didn't take care of their tire pressures and rotate their tires on a regular basis. I see rental cars where they had the original tires on the back at 55,000 miles, and those tires on the back are making noises like whoa, 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 whoa. That was a minivan, not a Honda. You have to do your maintenance. Rotate the tires. So you take it to the mechanic, they take the back tires and they put it to the front tires to the back. They check the pressure for you. You do that every 5,000 miles. Oil change, I recommend do it every 5,000 miles too. But you can get away with a 10,000 mile oil change. What about belts? When you change belts on the Honda Clarity plug-in? Never, because it doesn't have any belts. Plug-in hybrids eliminate the need to change belts. How about power steering hoses? You never have to change power steering hoses because it doesn't have any power steering hoses. It's got electromagnetic technology power steering. Those are proving to be never leak power steering system. More reliable than the old hydraulic fluid power steering. Because it's a plug-in hybrid and it runs on electric up to 90% of the time. If you drove this car 100,000 miles, the engine might only have 10,000 miles of wear on it. If you drive more and you run the engine more, it'll use more. But as a safe rough estimate, if you drive a typical plug-in hybrid, 60% of the time the engine's off. So in 100,000 miles of driving, the engine may only experience 40,000 miles of wear and tear. Let's look at the engine, and then we're going to go on a test drive. Remember, watch the whole video. You don't want to miss all the industry insider tips, informative tips that I give you later in the video. If you don't, you may go to a dealership. Look, here's your engine. The AC is running. The noise you hear is not the engine running, that's the AC running. The car is on, but the engine is off. The engine is not running. Just like if you were sitting in traffic, the AC is running, but the engine is off most of the time. 60% of the time, the engine will be off if you plug it in every day. If you live in an apartment and you don't want to plug it in, you're not going to have the same kind of positive experience as someone who does plug it in. But you'll be buying gas, but it'll still be a hybrid like a Prius, running on gas and electric mix. But for best results, you want to plug it in. Here's your VIN number right here on the windshield. The last 3 digits are 512. So as we look around at the seats, the headliner, sun visors, we're inspecting for damages and fingerprints and stuff like that. We have a sunglass holder. We have a glove box. Has service records in there. A center console storage. Cup holders everywhere. There's 4 cup holders, 5, 6 cup holders at least. So let's go for this little test drive.
Turn left, then turn left onto Orco Parkway.
Hey Siri, end navigation. I had cars where trying to cancel navigation was like a mystery puzzle, trying to figure out how to stop it. But with the Apple CarPlay, that's all you got to do is say Siri, end navigation. It's very simple. Looking for traffic. Now Honda Clarity, we're test driving. Hands off the wheel. It has new tires. It has different driving modes. We have sport mode. When you turn on sport mode, you can feel the difference right away. Acceleration is very significantly improved. It also has economy mode, which if you're really all about saving the gas, you can drive it in economy mode. It also has hybrid mode or EV mode button. The reason we use that normally is if I get a car and it had been from the auction or something and had dead batteries, and then we have to run the engine so it can pass the smog inspection, which this one has, then we drive it around in hybrid mode instead of EV mode. But we have a fully charged battery and we're able to cruise around. Accelerate up to speed. have our navigation ready to take us. Hey Siri, get directions to the Queen Mary.
To the Queen Mary.
I don't even have to touch go. It'll start automatically.
Starting route to the Queen Mary.
You can ask for directions to home. You can ask directions to an address, to a business.
At the light.
We're going on a test drive. When you go to other dealerships and you say, hey, look, that other dealership's price says great price. So you go down there to buy the great price car, whether you're a cash buyer or you're financing, you show up and their price might be $2,000 cheaper than everybody else. That's because they went to auction, they bought the car, they paid the same as everybody else is paying for a similar car, but then they mark it down $2,000 below what they paid. Now, why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense in a logical world. The reason they do that is to make you get excited, feel like it's a great deal, and then when you show up at the dealership, you find out that there's $8,000 in hidden costs as dealer accessories like paint protection, interior upholstery protection, you know, Scotch Guard. They take a can of Scotch Guard, they spray it inside, and they'll charge you $2,500 for this, $2,500 for that, and that's all built into the accessories that when you show up at the dealership is already installed on the car. So even if the car is cheap by $2,000, it's actually $6,000 more expensive because they're cheating. And then if you think you can make a deal and negotiate that off, you'll find out after hours of the dealership wearing you out that they're not going to take it off. I'm hearing a lot of stories. People go to a dealership, the car is $20,000, and when they add up their total of payments, it's $60,000 that they're paying. Or a $15,000 car costs $45,000. It's a widespread common occurrence. Your neighbors are going down and signing stupid contracts at dealers. I talk more about that later in the video. So back to this car, 17,000 original miles. This has a driver assist technology, radar adaptive cruise control with steering assist. Similar in the way that a Tesla has its autopilot, you can turn on the cruise control and this will follow traffic aware smart cruise control. So you can use your cruise control, set the speed for 80, but if there's traffic in front of you, the car will only go as fast as the vehicles in front of you without crashing. And that's got an excellent reaction time, better than a human when you're taking your long road trips. That smart cruise control will keep you from crashing, even if you're not paying as much attention as you should be. Super clean car. We just drove it around the block. They have a push button shifting on this Honda. Again, I have, as the filming of this video, I have 4 Honda Clarities in stock. One of them has about 130,000 miles on it. It has no problems. I know people that have Hondas with 500,000 miles. No problems. This one only has 17,000 miles. You can also qualify for government cash incentives, especially if you live in the United States. This car qualifies for the federal tax credit. I'm going to talk about that in the video. Keep watching. I'm going to explain more. Literally the government will send you a check for $4,000 no matter where you live. If you're eligible for the $4,000 tax credit, this car is eligible. And if you live in California, you may qualify for another $4,000 from power company rebate. And under certain conditions, there's also a $9,500 incentive. So literally there's $17,500 in government cash. Now, we test drove. Look how clean the car is. We drove. There's no smoke. There's no odors. There's no pet hair. None of that nasty stuff of buying a used car. Honda Clarities are hard to get because they switch. This body style is no longer available. So these are a collectible Honda, harder to get. You should jump on this one while you still can before somebody else gets it, especially when the government may be willing to pay up to $17,500 or more of the cost. I'm going to show you how to check if you're eligible and what programs are in your area. Keep watching the video. So now we're going to talk about charging your plug-in vehicle. On the left is a Tesla Model 3. On the right is a Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid. This one is gas plus electric. This one is electric only. So the electric plug on a Tesla is a different shape than the electric plug on other vehicles. Now some manufacturers like Ford, for example, and we have a Ford level 1-2 charger right here. Notice there's a plug right here. You can plug in one of the adapters into it. The same thing applies for a Tesla plug. The Tesla has a plug and you can choose the type of power for your house. So a level 1 or 2 adapter supports either 50 amp, which the plugs look like this, these are big, or your regular plug like you might plug in a toaster in your kitchen or a vacuum cleaner or something. This is the Ford 50 amp and the Ford 110. Now they have this safe adapters, so all you do is plug this into your charger depending on the type of outlet you have. So the 110 outlet, like you might plug a toaster in, these will charge between 3 to 5 miles of driving. I'm sorry, 3 to 5 miles of charging miles per hour to your battery. If you plug in the more powerful 50 amp or 40 amp 240 adapters, it'll add about 30 or sometimes more miles of driving per hour of charging. Alternately, if you go to a supercharger, here's a picture of a supercharger, you can use an adapter. Using the adapter that has either this type of connector or this type of connector, there's one for each direction. You can plug in a Tesla at any other type of charger, or you can plug in any other type of plug-in vehicle at a Tesla charger. They're interchangeable if you have the adapter, which let's say they cost about $100. So this is the Ford charger. This is a really nice charger because this is the Ford level 1 or level 2 charger that uses those adapters. It'll plug into and charge other vehicles like this Chrysler, and because it's level 2 capable, it'll charge it faster than a level 1. Remember, on level 2 it'll charge 30 more or less miles of driving per hour of charging. So if you leave it plugged in for 10 hours on level 2, 30 times 10 is 300 miles of driving, possibly, depending on the capacity of the battery. Likewise on the Tesla, if you plug in the Tesla charger, which is over here, looks like this. It looks very different, but it plugs in to the Tesla. Now they have adapters from Tesla to, this is called EVSE, and there's a different version with 2 little prongs underneath. That's DC fast charging, EVSE. But Tesla supports fast charging through the same port. Now normally fast charging is not available at your home. It's only available at a supercharger. If you go to other off-brand non-Tesla chargers, you may not get a fast charge. I see a lot of complaints about the non-Tesla superchargers. Now those 2 chargers I've shown you so far are level 1 or level 2. Here is a Toyota or Honda charger. This is a used one. It has a regular 110 outlet, so it'll charge 3 miles of driving per hour of charging. and sometimes they'll charge up to 5 miles of driving per hour of charging, is EVSE type, using an adapter, a regular, like a Toyota or Honda charger, to a Tesla. They plug in and they will charge a Tesla. So if you have the adapter with you, you can charge your Tesla anywhere. Likewise, if you have a Toyota or a Honda or a Chrysler or one of these other types of Ford that uses the EVSE style charger, if you have the adapter, you can go to a Tesla supercharger and charge your car there. So that's a level 1. These other chargers with 2 adapters plugs will charge level 1 or level 2. If you don't have level 2 in your garage, that's okay. You can charge level 1. So this van is got a gasoline engine and a big hybrid battery. So if you charge it up, it'll go 20-30 miles of electric power before it switches to gas. So you have over here, you have the Tesla, which is battery only. Now beware, some earlier battery only cars like Nissan Leaf, for example, Fiat 500e, they would only go 60, 70, 80 miles on a charge. Even the Toyota RAV4 EV would only go like 90 miles on a charge. And I'm talking about the newer version, which is the 2013 model Toyota RAV4 EV. Wouldn't go that far. It was electric only. If I whip out a calculator here, and I'm going to explain some quick math, and it'll go probably 35 miles on a charge times 365, that's 12,000 miles a year. A plug-in hybrid, it depends how often you plug it in on how far you can go. But with a plug-in hybrid, you don't have to plug it in. You can drive on gas only, so you can take your long cross-country trips. As opposed to an electric vehicle, you have to plug it in. Now I'm going to explain how for best practices. Now for best practices, if you have a plug-in vehicle, you're going to get the best result if you charge it every night, or whenever you're not driving, when it's sitting in your driveway or at home or in your garage, whatever. Have it plugged in when you're not driving it. In the case of this Tesla, you have an adjustable slider here. You can set your maximum rate of charge, and by default, Tesla shows you on the graphic here, they recommend charge it up to 80% for daily use. And then if you're plugging it in every night, the cycles on the battery aren't going to be that much. So at the current location, they can charge it 32 amps, but this is adjustable. You can charge it more, maybe less. Depends on the power capability where you know you're plugged into and it remembers. If you live in an apartment, you're going to have a different experience than if you live in a house or someplace safely where you can safely plug it in every night. You're going to have the best experience if you plug it in every night, even to a 110 outlet. Even if you don't have the 240, that's okay, because if this car is charging at 5 miles of driving times, say, 12 hours a day, half the day, it's building up 60 miles of driving. Now if you drive more miles on one day or less miles on another day, it depends on your commute. If you have a longer than 60-mile daily commute, probably by the weekends it'll catch up on your daily charging, even if you only charge it on a 110. But if you have the level 2 connector in your garage or your driveway, it'll charge in 5 hours from empty to flat, typically on most of these full electric Teslas. But regardless if you're charging a Tesla or a plug-in hybrid, you want to charge it every night for best results. Let's say you live in an apartment and you're thinking about getting a Tesla and you have nowhere to plug it in. How would you handle it? For best result in that case, you should probably get the extended range version. There's standard range, medium range, and extended range versions that drive a little bit farther, hold a little bit more charge in the battery, and then with that you can run it all the way down to 10%, and by that time Tesla says if you run it below 20% and you go to a supercharger and fast charge it, it'll charge to 80% in 20 minutes roughly. Not all chargers are created equal. Tesla even gives a tips screen. Look right here, supercharging tips. When we tap on that, find the fastest supercharger, navigate to the supercharger, arrive with 20% of the battery or less to maximize the charging rate, leave space between the cars, move your car after charging, and it's possible that water vapor could occur in cold weather because of the radiant heat. Those are the supercharging tips. Now compare that to this plug-in hybrid. This plug-in hybrid has a gasoline engine and a battery. So this one doesn't give you the same type of range anxiety that you might have with an electric car. Generally, Teslas don't give you the same kind of range anxiety that you would have had with an older electric car like a Nissan Leaf or Fiat 500e. These are longer range, full capable cars that you may not even have to take to a outside charger away from your house, not very often, unless you have an incredibly ridiculously long commute. And if you do, what are you driving all over the place for with so many people working from home? At A Buyer's Choice, we offer you clean deals without junk fees. We are a by appointment warehouse type dealer where most of our cars are kept indoors. You can make a same or next day appointment by calling by phone. Be careful about just sending an email or text, because for other dealers, you will just reduce yourself from a person to only a lead for a salesperson to pursue until you sign your future income away. Also, most dealers have hidden fees and costs that are added to the advertised sale price that you might not find out about until you are ready to sign. I prefer that you call us between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. so you can be treated like a person and we can answer your questions for you quickly and politely. So you don't get ripped off by another dealer, you should follow a few steps from this checklist, and you can pause the video or take a screenshot of your computer screen. Here's a safety checklist so you don't get ripped off. I will, if you ask, give you a good faith estimate of your total cost out the door for any vehicle you are pursuing from our dealership, because we offer clean deals. When you go to a dealership, they have to make you sign a contract for the purchase of a vehicle. Now, before you go to a dealership, you should ask for a purchase order quoting all fees and costs. What you have to watch out for, and this is just a simple, this is a payment calculator, but this shows cash price vehicle and accessories. You have to watch out for that. These contracts, this is a simple purchase order that we at A Buyer's Choice can send you before you even come to the dealership, so you know how much your total of payments is going to be before you even arrive. Or you can even ask for a simple contract, which would identify any interest rates or anything like that. A lot of dealerships use different types of contracts. This is a simple interest contract, simple interest finance charge contract. This is a 2006 version. Notice this is a 2022 version. Look how much longer it is. They keep adding text and lines. These contracts get longer and longer. It's about 24 inches long. If you're given a long contract, that's fine. But where you really have to pay attention to is total cash price. Includes line 1, cash price vehicle, cash price accessories. A lot of dealers are adding $8,000 in accessories, from undercoating to Scotch Guard, all types of security devices that aren't even the factory alarm system, that may not be of any value to you, but they add $8,000 or more in accessories added to the cash price. So when you look at the advertised price, which is the price of the vehicle, you think you're getting a good deal, but when you're sitting at the desk, you're paying all this extra stuff. And look how many lines there are of stuff to add on, and 2 columns to add on. And then you have places all over the place to sign. Now these long form contracts are also printed on both sides. So if you're going to take your time to read this, I can tell you, if you go to a dealership and they fill out this contract for you, they're not going to let you take it home and read it. They're going to be like, this is the deal here and now. At a Buyer's Choice, we're a little different. We'll give you your purchase order, quoting you out the door before you even come and visit the dealership, saving you a lot of time. These other dealerships, you're going to sit in there for 8 hours haggling. Right here it says total cash price A through O might appear all the way down here. And then there's license fees, registration fees, tire fees. Those things can be added on. Total official fees, emissions, it keeps adding up. So a lot of people end up at the dealership, they look at a $20,000 car, and before they're ready to leave, it's actually $60,000 total of payments. And they're tired, they sign because they don't want to go home empty-handed after they've already invested an entire weekend, and then they feel bad the next day. What the hell did I just happen to me? And they won't buy another car for 10 years because it's going to take them 10 years to get over it. Now, if we send you a purchase order like this one, this is all your credit union is going to need. If you've applied and approved at a credit union for an auto loan, they can originate the loan with just this document, which we can email to you, or you can come in person and pick it up. The credit union will issue a loan to pay for the vehicle you're buying from us. This is a clean deal. It doesn't have a lot of junk fees added on. This is only one example. Yours would be specific, and it would include the VIN number of the vehicle you're buying and the odometer readings and stuff like that. But basically, you want to ask for a purchase order before you visit a dealership so you don't get railroaded and end up paying 3 times what you thought you were going to pay. You're going to be able to get the best car at the lowest payment, and you're probably going to know what your payments are going to be before you even start looking at cars. There's credit unions, banks, and finance companies, and if you go fill out a credit application at a dealership, you might be put with a finance company, which is almost like a loan shark. Not exactly, but the interest rates are much higher, so you'll be stuck paying your payments for a lot longer for a lot less car. So we want you to do some steps first before you head to the auto mall. Also, when you show your face at the car dealership and you're signing loan agreements with the dealer and you're signing sales contracts or purchase contracts, you have to be careful. There are different kinds of contracts. The one you want to be signing is a simple interest or generic basic sale contract. What you have to watch out for are pre-computed interest rates. There are auto loans that are interest first auto loans. So if you sign your loan and think you're going to refinance, but you signed a pre-computed interest first loan, that means you may not be able to reduce the amount of interest you're paying. So you definitely want to make sure you sign a simple interest rate contract at the dealership when you buy your car. Now, if you buy it from us, you don't have to worry. So go to my website, mybestcar.com, and on YouTube it's spelled the same. The website is mybestcar.com, and on the website you can view all inventory. You can view our YouTube channel, 20 years of feedback reports, lender direct financing, vehicles on TrueCar, even eBay auctions. It will go here to cars.com listings. This is maybe where you want to go, and you can select the vehicle you might be interested in. Check the price. What is the price on the website? Click on it. See how the price compares to other vehicles, and we're going to talk more about that in a minute. look at the Carfax report, and then as you browse around on the internet here on the website, you can see vehicles also in TrueCar, and there's a comparative analysis of prices, of how our prices compare with average. Keep in mind, a lot of the vehicles we sell are above average condition, have more than average options, maybe top of the line, fully loaded, have navigation systems, DVD entertainment systems, and assorted features that are above average, and that can make them a little bit more expensive because they have more bang for the buck. We also sell RVs, and if you want to see what we've been up to, you can just select view all vehicles and sort by body type, SUVs, in this case RVs and campers. And we're going through, we have 5 pages of RVs on here, and notice next to the price, if we don't have it in stock, it says sold, but the pictures are still viewable on the website too. For financing, we have lender direct referrals. We specifically recommend credit unions, like here's some of the better ones. Westcom is good, SunTrust is good. SunTrust is a neat one where they don't even necessarily need title to the vehicle. They'll just put the money in your checking account, and then you can pay for the vehicle that way. But there's other ways you can browse around. Look at the feedback here. So who are we? You can go back and look at 20 years of since we've been a member since 2001, so that's more than 20 years of reviews, 100% positive feedback. Likewise on YouTube, you can go on our YouTube channel, look at our different videos, and if you select to view videos, and then you can select the latest, popular, or oldest. Here's oldest, and that's videos from 14 years ago, still up on YouTube. So unlike maybe other dealers that change management every 5 years, we've been around for a long time, 25 years. So with 25 years in business, we know how to ship vehicles. Sometimes we ship them to us, sometimes we ship them to you. If you're sitting in the middle of some state, even Hawaii or some other country, we offer local delivery, international delivery. That's a flat rack with an RV on it. A flat rack is how you load a container ship with a motorhome. Of course, you can put it on the roll-on roll-off ships. We've done enclosed shipping of vehicles. If you need an estimate for shipping your vehicle, just call us between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. and we'll give you a good faith estimate about how much it's going to cost to ship the vehicle from us to you. Now, if you're in the middle of nowhere and you need to finance your vehicle, if you're not in California, just go on Google Maps, search for credit unions, find your area, and search nearby for credit unions. I'm doing it here for my area in Ontario, California area. And what do you know? Lots of credit unions are nearby. As you see on the screen here, we found Arrowhead Credit Union is one of the ones that popped up. I like Arrowhead Credit Union. I used to be a member. They have very good interest rates. So if I open up their website and go directly to Arrowhead Credit Union, of course you can go through your own credit union and check rates, see what they are. Here we go, 4.4% interest rate on an auto loan. You can get on their website and search for rates, see what loans rates are for autos, RVs, whatever you're buying, and sometimes they even estimate what your payments will be. Here, look, 4.49 to 23. This credit union offers tiered interest rates. So if your credit is healthy, you'll get a good interest rate, a really good one. But if your health of your credit is less desirable, they might still be able to finance you because they offer a higher rate if your credit is higher risk, but still that's going to be cheaper than going with a finance company. Here's another credit union, Altura Credit Union. They also have excellent rates, and they've treated our customers really well when they work with Arrowhead, but they're not the only credit unions. I showed you earlier how to go on my website and search for recommended lenders, but this is how to find it in your area. So if you're sitting in the middle of Texas or anywhere else in the country, search for credit unions the same way. Find one that you like near you and check what their rates are. Get pre-approved, and we'll give you a purchase order so you can pay for the vehicle through your credit union financing. Now let's talk about the government programs. This one, you want to go, if you're in California, go to driveclean.ca.gov, like I'm showing you who are on the internet. You go on the California State official website. Then you're going to search for incentives on the navigation bar on the top. And then you have a chance to enter your zip code. That's mine. Enter yours. Select used vehicle type, and then plug-in hybrid. Let's do plug-in hybrid. Plug-in hybrid and electric will get the same incentives. And then also check the box income-based incentives so you can see all the money. Look at the top right, $25,500 in potential incentives available. That's federal tax credit. $25,500. See right there? You've got power company rebates. You've got the Replace Your Ride program offered by South Coast Air Quality District. You've got all kinds of money. And we work with these programs so when you look at the price of the car, you can get money back as rebates, especially if it's a plug-in electrified vehicle. This is how you check. If there's no plug-in electrification, you might not get any, but you can still check on the driveclean.ca.gov website. This is where you go. So now we're going to go on the DMV website and calculate how much your registration fees are going to cost, and taxes. You can get a good idea. Go to DMV, go and calculate fees, and the easiest way when you're looking for vehicles is fees for a new vehicle. Even if it's used fees for a new vehicle to get you close. Then you can select the model year, the fuel type. Is it gas? Is it electric? Is it a plug-in hybrid? What is the purchase price you're paying? Let's say $20,000 or whatever it is. Enter a date in the future, not too far away. And then select the year. You have to type it in. This is a California government website, the DMV website. Select your county. Select your zip code. I'm putting mine, but you should be putting your zip code, because when the fees are calculated, they're based on the address you provide. We're going to talk about that a little bit more as we get along here. That's my zip code. Now, once the model year, so let's say it's a 2020, and we calculate the fees. So, sales tax on a $20,000 vehicle for my zip code is right there, and the registration fee calculation is right there. But if you enter your price of any car that you're considering buying and your information, the DMV's site will kind of calculate it. Now, sales tax, the DMV site messes up sometimes. So I recommend go to the CDTFA website, click on tax and fee rates, and sales and use tax rates, because every time you have an election, the voters that live in your neighborhood choose yes or no on taxes. So the taxes all over the state of California and everywhere else are very different. So you can find out what your tax rate is, because it's based on the address you're going to provide where the vehicle will be kept. So let's say if you're in Kern County, they have as low as 7.25%. That's the lowest tax rate in the state of California. But what if you're in, say, El Monte? And El Monte has 10%, but some of LA County has 10.5% tax rate. So you have to see what your tax rate is based on your city or your county to calculate your out-the-door fees. And as a dealer, if we're going to calculate it, we need to know your address to run the numbers like I'm showing you here to find out what you're going to have to pay. It's up to between you and the state of California and your elections that you participate or don't participate in, how you decide what your tax rate is going to be. I'm entering in my address, and then this is finding a sales tax rate by address portion of their CDTFA website, and it actually shows a little map of the city and shows this whole city is 7.75%, and it can do that for anywhere in the state of California on the state of California CDTFA website. Now, modern vehicles are built by robots. Robot welders weld the bodies together and stamp out the parts. As you see here in the video, most of the vehicles that you would possibly buy are built in a similar way, using robots to do all the welding and precision mechanical construction of the body. Now, this is a unibody you're looking at. A unibody stands for unitized body. It's the body structure. Once it comes out of the factory, anytime you do any damage to this portion of the car, then that's considered structural damage. Any bit of this, if you hit a post, you drill a hole, anything that's damaging this part of the body is considered structural damage, as opposed to a body on frame construction could be a frame damage because it looks like a ladder frame. If it's damaged, that's frame damage. So we try to get cars that have not been any kind of serious or major accident of any sort. A little bit of scratch, a little bit of dent is almost inevitable. That's fine, but we don't sell major accident cars. We don't sell salvage title cars. We don't want to mess with that. The ladder construction or the unibody construction cars, we try to sell grade A condition vehicles in excellent shape. It's possible there could be a little bit of body work, so ask us on a case-by-case basis with each vehicle. We can check and see if we're aware of any body work. Also, the Carfax sometimes gives a clue, but the Carfax can throw you off, making you think it's worse than it actually is. So talk to us and get clarification if you have any concerns about any accident. Now, if your vehicle is delivered by a transport or the dealership across state lines out of California to a place other than California, and first use by you occurs outside the state of California, then the transaction may be exempt from California tax. Special conditions apply, and that has to be documented.